folks, today I'd like to take a casual peek into the DC Universe Classics Classic Detective Batman action figure set by Mattel. This figure set is part of the world's greatest superheroes sub-wave, I guess you can call it, of DC Universe Classics. And the figures in this sub-wave are re-releases of previous figures from previous waves. And this particular figure is a re-release of the Classic Detective Batman from Wave 1. This figure set was first released in 2008, and I got the set around 2010 or 11 when I found it at a Rite Aid and paid $16 for this set. Taking a look at Batman here in the packaging, you can see that this version of Batman is the blue and gray bat suit with the black and yellow bat emblem on the chest, which happens to be my favorite bat suit in the comics, especially if it was rendered by the late great Jim Aparo. And this particular figure wields two accessories, one in each hand, and you can see also a display base that comes included with this figure, which is pretty cool. Taking a look here, we have the back of the package. Let me just turn that down a little bit. And we have a biography here of Batman, as well as some statistics here. And here we have a picture of Batman in a pose, holding his accessories and standing on the display base. And down below here we have other figures from the world's greatest superheroes subwave, basically re-releases of figures. We have Batman on here, Green Lantern, basically Hal Jordan, Wonder Woman, Firestorm, probably the Ronnie Raymond version, Robin, probably the Tim Drake version, and Shazam or Captain Marvel on there. Now we'll be right back and have Batman here out of the package. Alright, we're back and we have the Classic Detective Batman out of the package. And despite the numerous versions of Batman that have been released through the DC Universe Classics line, and myself having a moderate DC Universe Classics action figure collection, I have relatively few Batman figures, and even fewer out of the package. I believe this Batman figure is only my second Batman out of the package. And I really like this figure, and my bias towards the blue and gray batsuit notwithstanding, it's still a great figure, a nice rendition of Batman. Taking a look at the items that come included with this Classic Detective Batman, we have two accessories. We have here a Batarang made of a softer plastic here. And I believe this comes with many versions of the Batman that have been released through DC Universe Classics. And the figure can hold it relatively well, especially if you have the thumb where the ridges of the Batarang are at. It holds it nice and tight, which is pretty cool. The next accessory we have here is the grapple, bat grapple, I guess you can call it. And it's actually pretty neat. It's three pieces. You have the grapple itself in silver, softer plastic, and you have the rope here made of like a nylon type string, and also the grapple gun, I guess you could say. And this grapple here or hook actually does come off. It's pegged in if you want it loaded into the grapple gun. It's just simply pegged in with a peg and a peg hole there, and it's attached with this nylon type string here, and it's wrapped a bit around the grapple gun here, and mine seems to be stuck part way through. I think some of the glue, I'm not gonna force it, but you can see the nylon string wrapping around there, but it looks like I got some glue stuck in there, but that's okay. And you can see the details of the grapple gun, It's nicely sculpted there. It doesn't actually move or anything. There is no folding parts for the grip or anything like that. Or this does not wind. Doesn't. It's just a fixed plastic. But still a nice sculpting detail. It's painted black with some silver spotting on there, which is pretty cool. And of what string I have, you can just wrap that around and peg this into place and put the grapple in there, and you have the grapple gun, and the figure does wield it a little loose, but still a nice grip on there, so that's kind of cool. One thing that comes with most of the World's Greatest Superheroes figures or re-release figures is a display base here, made of a translucent blue plastic. It has a peg on the side here and a hole on the other side. Basically place the foot of the figure onto the peg to stand the figure onto the base. And the base here has the DC Universe logo here in raised lettering there, so that's kind of cool. And here you can see through, but it's on the other side, it's basically copyright information on there. So nice figure stand or base, so that's kind of cool. Now taking a look at classic Detective Batman here, and like I said, this is my favorite of the bat suits. I really grew up reading comics of Batman wearing this particular bat suit, and that's why I have an affinity toward this particular version of Batman. And it's nicely sculpted. It represents Batman from that era pretty well. I like to say it's the Silver to Bronze Age Batman. And one thing I gotta mention right away is one thing I really do not like about this particular figure. It's the artificial shading on the cowl. I've never been a fan of that on figures. It's great in the 2D format of comic books with the shading on the cowl, but when they place this artificial shading here, basically just black paint on the front of the cowl here on a 3D figure, it really doesn't carry the effect, at least to me. Doesn't carry the effect very well, and it just looks like his cowl is painted black on the front. It doesn't look like a shading at all to me, and that's why I'm really disappointed in whenever I see a blue and gray Batman figure 3D form with this artificial shading. I wish they did not do that, because I wish it was just all blue on the cowl, and unfortunately it's not. Now I know there is a newer release of Batman in the blue and gray suit as a part of a 2-pack that does not have that black shading, and I'm going to look for that figure and see if I can head swap the figure on this, but because this really just annoys me. It really does to have artificial shading when you can create your own shading without the paint on this. But that's really just my one major complaint about this figure, and other than that, it's a great figure. I really do like it, and you can see excuse me, Batman here with some moderate bat ears, not too short, not too long, in the mid-range, you could say. It does remind me of Jim Aparo's rendition of Batman, and I think it's who happens to be my favorite Batman artist, and I really do like how they I guess retain almost that style on the sculpt, and I think it's actually pretty neat. And some details on the cowl. You can see the furrowed brow there in the middle to tell that this guy is not joking around. He's got a very stern expression despite having just the whites of the eyes there. You can tell this guy is serious, and it's pretty cool. I like how they added that onto their to the cowl. on there, and you can see the head and the neck here. The paint matches pretty well, despite being two separate pieces of plastic here, and also the cape on which it's joined through the back on the typical back there for DC Universe Classics figures for capes. One thing I noticed about this particular cape, it's not glued down here, it's loose around the shoulder, and if you lift it up a little bit you can see the blue of the paint of the neck on there, so that's kind of interesting. I may glue that down in the future. And down looking here on the chest, you have the black and yellow symbol on the chest, which is painted, or I think it's tampoed very nicely, nice and clean on there, so it's no problems at all on that. Moving down here, you have the utility belt on there. It's not the big pouches that were typical of the more modern Batman. And it's got the more like the capsules along the sides there, and also the buckle painted in darkish orange, almost reddish color there. So actually kind of cool. Over here on the arms, you can see the gloves, and I always forget what you call these here, wingtips, or I don't know what you call them. But basically, not spikes, but they are made of a softer plastic on there, which is interesting, and you can see some warpage on that, being in the package for a little bit over 4 years. And there, this one's not so bad here. It's bent a little bit, but this one here is pretty much warped. One thing about the gloves here, they're not painted on the forearm. They're actually part of the sculpt. It's raised a little bit on the edge of the glove, so that's kind of nice there. Moving down to the rest of the figure here, you can see the leggings here, and the underoos on the outside here, painted in blue. And for the boots, they're just like the gloves on the top edges of the boots. They're sculpted or raised a little bit, so that they're not simply painted on. So that's kind of cool. And you can see some sculpting detail here on the lower leg boot area, so that's kind of neat. And the cape here on the figure is pretty much typical for most Batman figures from DC Universe Classics. Not too overly long, not too short, about average, with the edges here, which is nice. And this cape is made of a softer plastic, bendable and pliable, not too starchy like some of the older DC Universe Classics figures. Now, I don't know if the Wave 1 Batman has a softer cape. I don't know if that one is starchy, since that was Wave 1, and they changed it with the World's Greatest Superheroes. I don't know. I do have a Wave 1 Batman, but it's still sealed in the packaging, and it's never coming out of the package, so I guess I'll never know until I get hold of another Wave 1 Batman. But still a pretty nice figure, and I really like this version of the Batsuit. Now, going over articulation of this classic detective Batman, the head here can go all the way around, and can go up and down quite well. A nice array of posability, and can go side to side a little bit, so nice variety of poses for the head there. The arms do go all the way around. Yeah, you have to work a little bit when it gets to the back of the cape there, and the arms do go out and in, and the arms go all the way around at the top of the bicep there, and single joint at the elbow, and the hands can go all the way around at the wrist. Excuse me. The torso can go down, up, and back, despite the cape on there. You can see it can go back quite a ways. And the torso can go all the way around at the waist, which is nice. The legs are on the typical DC Universe Classics leg joint. Allows the leg to go up down to the back, as well as out to the side. The thigh can go all the way around on a swivel cut, and the knees do bend on a single joint, and the feet can point downwards as well as upwards, and just a tiny bit of ankle pivot there. So that's kind of nice. Overall, a great Batman figure to represent the 70s and 80s era of Batman, which is pretty nice. And I'm a big fan of this Batman figure, and I recommend it if you're a fan of this bat suit as well. This is my casual peek into the DC Universe Classics Classic Detective Batman. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.